My infrared.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
I guess
And
camera hadn't moved, so checked it anyway.
yeah, welcome to Drunk Doctor Who, episode number 138. Where we talk about the 138th story of Doctor Who.
The very first story of season
22.
22. So it's every Monday, 45-minute episodes.
Yeah,
kind of like our podcast, which today is on a Friday.
Yeah, this is today's December 1st.
Hey, happy December.
Happy beginning of Advent calendars.
Yeah, Advent calendars. That's where they come with the extra month.
That's where they come with the little deals you pop out, and it's usually a toy or a treat or something one day from December 1st to December 25th.
Boxes and...
Yeah. So anyway, this is the beginning of the 22nd season. Now this season they did something different.
We have Cully B, new doctor.
Well, we had him for the last serial, but yeah, he's fairly new. And he's right up there.
Ta-da!
Hey.
Wow, that picture looks better than what he does in the show.
So anyway, so instead of having, they'd done it once a week for a long time, and then they decided to go Monday, Tuesday as opposed to a weekend slot, and that didn't really work out great. Now they're squishing everything into just Monday, but they're doubling the length of the episode. So they're cutting it down to 13 episodes in the season, but they're twice as long, they're 45 minutes long. So at this point, they're keeping the same amount of time. Next season, we still stick with the 14 episodes, but they come back down to 25-minute episodes.
It's kind of
so they literally cut the season time in half next season. Yeah,
it's kind of like they took the Monday, Tuesday, and then they just smushed the two episodes together.
Yep.
So just every Monday.
And then
45.
Well, this is the last season where they're not very specifically trying to kill the show. After this, they are, because Colin Baker was not that popular back in the day, and the BBC was embarrassed about the show.
Still not popular.
That is correct. He was not popular then, and he's not particularly popular now. Sorry, Colin Baker, if you're watching this. Tom Baker, if you're watching it, you're popular. All right, he's still alive. He's 90.
Better of the Bakers.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so it aired. Notice last time this was 1984 in March. So we jump all the way the next year, 85, and it's 1585 to 11285. Oh, they didn't give you a whole lot of... Lytton's not a companion.
Close enough.
He never actually rides in the TARDIS.
He didn't?
No. Oh. He went in there just for that one moment, but he never rides in it. It never goes anywhere. Yeah, I decided to make more room doing this, but I may have to put it back when we have more companions again. Alright, so the companions, Perry. The antagonists, the Cybermen.
Yeah. This is a, fairly family-friendly, not too violent, not a...
Everybody dies?
Everybody dies again. Again.
You see the guy, you see Lytton's hands crushed?
Oh, brutal, this serial.
I'm Hatter, this is Holden, and I think we're up to 60 subscribers now.
Wow. Yeah. This is welcome to our 60th subscriber special.
We have fewer subscribers than half of our episode numbers.
You have just won. If you're the 60th subscriber, you have won a year of free podcasts.
Everyone gets that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's a new deal.
What are you drinking?
All the new subscribers. Vodka Sprite. Mm-hmm. Except this is mostly Sprite. I got a rifle.
Yeah, he's got the Whip Pinnacle vodka. Yeah, he has to rifle. I am drinking straight vodka, Russian Standard.
Oh, Russian Standard.
And I don't have to drive anywhere, so...
Where'd you get that? They started restocking finally?
No.
They were out for a while, right? Forever?
Brewski Place.
Brewski.
Brewski still carries it.
Oh, I haven't ever been there.
Oh, it's great. That mixed drink that Lissa was drinking, their specialty is they go, okay, here's a cup. Inside the cup, you've got a mixer. And then you have whatever shots of alcohol will go with that mixer.
All the stuff comes in the box and you just mix it all
It,
together.
it comes in the little bottles in the cup.
Yeah.
So in this cup, they would have like whatever the mixer is, and then they would have the little shots up at the top, like usually
That's
3
great.
shots of it, and it's $12.99 or whatever. So you take it home, mix it all together, add some ice if you want, and
Bless you.
God bless you, sunshine. And they're really popular for that. It's a really great shtick,
It's a sneezing season.
But anyway, yeah, Brewski place. Okay.
Sponsored by Brewskis.
No, we're not sponsored by anybody.
Oh, we should be though.
For free alcohol, you can sponsor us.
To all 60 of our subscribers.
Exactly. All right. Okay. So, Attack of the Cybermen. Okay. I think I'm going to narrow this down a little bit.
Do you want to just go ahead?
Okay, there's like 5 different groups going on.
Yeah.
But at least one of them doesn't matter in the slightest.
They all die.
Well, the two
The
prisoner
prison
guys.
escape. Their story arc kind of just
Okay. All right.
real succinct. Right
So
there.
during the course of this, and to try and streamline it a little bit, there's 2 prisoners on the planet Talon who escaped the work detail. The Cybermen are watching over them.
Bates and Stratton.
They're trying to get at least a 3rd person to fly this time machine, and they are going through trying to get in and trying to do this, and their story is interwoven throughout everything else, but it all comes to naught as everybody pretty much except the Doctor and Perry and some of the Cyrons die, assuming they survive the explosion up above.
It's a really short story arc, but a really tragic one.
Yeah.
You have these people that failed the Cybermen conditioning. So they're like the Cybermen rejects. They're half cybernetic with robot arms.
And
They've
legs.
just been relegated to doing,
Manual
hard
labor.
labor. Yeah, they're trying to hijack that time ship. All that happens, they die. We're just gonna leave them out of the rest of the camp.
It's filler.
That's their whole story arc.
It's all filler. It's just, okay, these guys, them for 2 minutes. These guys, them for 2 minutes. These guys, oh yeah, they're still in the story. And yeah, and it's just sadly die.
Yeah.
Alright, so where to begin? Okay, so the Doctor is trying to fix the TARDIS. He's trying to fix the chameleon circuit. And it actually kind of works during this serial.
And,
But by the end of it, it restores itself to the...
it's back to the police box.
Back to the police box where it stays.
Enters wardrobe change. Perpigillium Perry.
Mm-hmm.
Not Perky. Perpigillium.
Yeah. And she's perky too. Okay, so Perry's arguing with the Doctor. You should get some rest. You've been pushing yourself. You're unstable. The Doctor's like, no, I'm not unstable.
Still seems unstable.
Yeah. Okay, so
They
see
make it
Lytton
yeah.
show up, and
Lytton's back.
yeah, you see Lytton show up in a car. It's 1985, and you were like, wait, that's Lytton.
Yeah. Do they remember who Lytton is?
Yeah.
The Dalek police Bobby from Resurrection of the Daleks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not that long ago. It's the one where Tegan left.
The bad guy that wandered off into the sunset, which shows up in a car full of goons.
Yeah, he has the 2 robot bobbies with him. Police officers.
They're tracking the Doctor. The Doctor and Perry. They land on Earth, 1985,
They land in the exact same junkyard where they found the TARDIS in the very first episode, An Unearthly Child. And it even shows it, doesn't show it immediately then, but it shows it very explicitly later, Totter's Lane.
Totter's Lane, 76 Totter's Lane.
Mm-hmm.
And he sees the sign and he calls Perry Susan.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's still
a little scrambled, yeah. So she's like, you called me Susan and Tegan and Vicky and even Jamie once.
just a simple slip of the tongue.
It's more of a slip of the mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're being tracked by the police bobbies, the robots.
Yeah. Okay, so the doctor's trying to fix stuff, and there's an emergency distress signal.
Mm-hmm.
So the doctor goes on the planet, and he's running around trying to track it. And in the meantime, Lighton is setting up a big bank heist for $10 million worth of diamonds, or 10 million pounds worth of diamonds. And he has 3 guys with him.
Payne, Russell, and Griffith.
Griffiths
or Thug 1, Thug 2, Thug 3.
Alright, Payne is an absolute thug that does whatever he wants, whatever Litton wants him to. Griffith
is like the muscle, right?
Yeah, he's the muscle, and he has a hard time following everything. And then, what was one? Russell?
Russell?
Yeah, Russell. Turns out we find out later on he's an undercover cop.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's the expert demolitions guy.
Doesn't get a lot of screen time. That one.
Yeah, Payne gets the least, I think.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Payne had the nice chops.
Yeah. So, Litton leads...
They weren't nice. They're pretty thin chops.
Litton leads him down into a sewer. Mm-hmm. They go down the sewer, and we already saw earlier 2 other guys die in the same place.
Yeah, they got pixelated.
Yeah,
so violent.
Yeah,
the screen gets all.
And we find out later it's the Cybermen. Mm-hmm. So they're down there, and they're trying to get to the place where they're going to do the diamond heist underneath the bank building and all that. And Litton has this whole scheme put together, and he's got schemes within schemes within schemes and all that. Mm-hmm. So
layers.
Yeah, layers
to it.
At one point, they think they're being followed. So he gives a gun to Payne and says, "All right, take care of it. If we're being followed, take care of it." Mm-hmm. They go on, and they finally get to the point where they're starting to break down the wall to get to supposedly the underneath the vault of the bank.
Right.
Yeah. Payne gets killed by a Cyberman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Turns out there was someone coming down the corridor.
A Cyberman.
And he gets pixelated too by the cyber gun.
Because you're seeing it from the Cyberman's eyes, and that's the static discharge. So the Doctor and Perry, in the meantime, have tried to figure out where the signal's coming from. They realize it's not there. They head back to the TARDIS. They come back out. In the meantime, you keep seeing these bits of Tellus, the other planet, and it's Baron and the other 2 guys, which you've already described. So the Doctor and Perry make their way, they find the sewer entrance, and then they get attacked by the 2 robot bobbies. Mm-hmm. The Doctor manages to subdue one, and Perry manages to get the gun off the other and string him.
Perry really knows her way around a handgun, the serial.
Well, she is American, the character.
Oh yeah, that's true. She grabs the gun. She doesn't anus. She takes the silencer off. She inspects another gun later on, and she goes, "This hasn't been fired." So she seems fairly knowledgeable in firearms. Mm-hmm. I don't even know how you tell if a gun hasn't been fired yet.
It'll be the smell and the warmth. Okay, so also if it's fully loaded. Okay, so the Doctor and Perry are heading down into the sewers, looking for, the guys are following, because they're looking for that signal that's being sent out, that distress beacon. Mm-hmm. So they come across the dead body, Payne's dead body.
Yeah, he's been.
Yeah.
Whacked. Whacked.
Okay, so then they go along and they're still looking, and then you hear some gunfire because the Cyberman catches up to the other 3. Mm-hmm. Russell just starts to empty his clip.
You see the green ooze coming out of the punctured cyber.
Yeah, he actually got one. Yeah.
These Cybermen seem a lot less durable than the Cybermen we've seen in the past. They kind of get pushed around quite a bit.
It depends. Like the Mondasian Cybermen with the sock outfits were easily the most destructible.
Yeah, whatever happened to those guys?
They come back later.
These are still Mondasian Cybermen, right?
They are still the descendants of Mondasian Cybermen, but they have better outfits. Yeah, and they look better. Later on, there will be a different type of Cyberman that comes from an alternate universe, and they look much more badass. It's in the new stuff.
We saw some variations on the Cybermen in this one, like the guards that are in black rather than the chrome cyber.
And you've got the cyber controllers got that extra brain pan feature, yeah. Like the Roman soldiers with the
just elongated cranium space.
Yeah.
Has the big Princess Leia buns with the handles coming out.
Alright, so the Cybermen show up. Russell just unloads into one, and then Litton grabs his gun with a silencer on it and puts it at Russell's head and says, "Stop." Yeah. He takes the gun from Russell. The Cybermen show up, and you're like, and it's only that one. A wall opens, and there's dozens of Cybermen behind it.
Oh yeah. Whole room of them.
Yeah. So
was that the same wall they were trying to break down?
I think it was there or just to the left.
And the distress beacon's coming from the Cybermen?
Yes, from the wall. So
why were the Cybermen sending out a distress beacon?
I think we find out later that Litton set up the distress beacon
to draw the Cybermen.
Well, to draw anybody he could, and then the Cryrons talked to him, and so I think he moved it to where the Cybermen were to set up the scenario where he gets captured by them, taken over to where the Cryrons were to help them.
And also apparently had been listening to like the Cybermen's radio chatter for a while.
There's something like that.
Doing his research on them.
Yeah, it's like so. Litton stops Russell from defending himself, takes his gun away, walks up to the Cybermen, and you don't know this guy's necessarily extraterrestrial or whatever, you know? Mm-hmm. And he says, "Hello, Cybermen. My name is Litton. I am your prisoner." And he hands the main dude his gun, who immediately crushes it, you know?
Yeah.
And that reveal probably would have been the end of the episode if it was the 25-minute episodes. Okay, so then Perry and the Doctor are wandering around. During the scuffle with the Cybermen, what's the little guy's name? The cop?
Payne?
No, not Payne.
Griffith.
No.
Russell?
No, that's Russell. Griffith is the one who was unloading his gun on the Cybermen.
Ah.
But Russell managed to sneak off. Foop. Russell managed to sneak off.
Didn't one die?
Payne
died, but I thought another one died.
Oh, they all died eventually. Alright.
Okay.
So, Russell managed to sneak off. He's the cop. The Doctor and Perry bump into him. And
that's right.
Yeah. Russell recognizes the gun that Perry has. He puts a very small knife up to the Doctor's throat. Like and Perry pulls out her gun and he's like, not unless you want me to kill him. So she puts out the gun. But Russell recognizes the gun. He says, and realizes it was the one that was given to Payne by Litton. And he's like, where'd you get this? Yeah, no, like, well, they're just like, the owner has no more use for it. So Russell then has them put their hands against the wall. He frisks them, makes sure they don't have any more weapons. Although the Doctor had a gun in his pocket that I think Perry put there, or that he got off the Bobby.
Oh, you're talking about the...
Because Russell finds the gun in the Doctor's pocket. Well, first he finds the gun, but then later he finds the sonic lance.
Not screwdriver.
Yeah, not screwdriver. It was a tool that the Doctor was using to fix the TARDIS earlier. Well, in the meantime, the TARDIS's chameleon circuit has made it change into a chest of drawers.
Can we talk about that? So chameleon circuit is what helps a TARDIS blend into the environment. But this one's always been a police box because it was stuck or broken. Can we talk about how awfully convenient it is that Chameleon, the companion, died right before the chameleon circuit on the TARDIS started somewhat functioning again?
Suggesting that
did he harvest a chameleon circuit from Chameleon?
I don't think so. None of that is shown whatsoever.
That's my conspiracy theory.
None of that was shown whatsoever, and Chameleon was shrunk down too small by the master shrinker.
Maybe he's like, that's exactly the right size it needs to be.
But anyway, you see some more of the stuff behind the rondelles in the TARDIS.
Yeah. There's a lot of circuit boards and wires.
And old looking circuit boards, because it was the 80s. Okay, so anyway, we've caught up to 40 years ago.
40 years.
When we started doing this, it was 55 years ago. Now we've caught up to 40 years ago.
So why is it that there's so many current day episodes in Doctor Who about a show that's about traveling in time? It's like the Doctor's traveling in time, but mostly chronologically.
It completely depends on the budget for that year. So if you've got a better budget, you can do sci-fi stuff. If you have a lower budget, you're filming it at home in modern day.
In 1985, okay.
Which, to be fair, was the year it was broadcast, but it was set 1 year before the Doctor encountered the Mondasian Cybermen.
Right, and that's a callback to the 1986 episode.
Well, the episode was set in 86,
yeah,
but it was aired in 66 or 67. I think barely 67.
They're on that Arctic base, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Great episode.
So the Doctor finally is talking to Russell, the little short cop. Finds out, he's like, well, wait, if you're a cop, what are you doing here? And he says, well, I'm undercover. And he goes, oh, well, who are you chasing? And finds out it's Lytton. And the Doctor's like, oh, I was expecting him to turn up again sometime. And so the Doctor gains the trust of Russell. Russell, the Doctor, and Perry head off chasing
the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah. Well, at first they're like,
doesn't he just like hand him one of the pistols?
Yeah, he hands him the pistol that he disarmed from him. Okay, so the Doctor says,
his pistol.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Doctor's like, well, we have to go further in. We have to keep going further in. And then he turns around almost immediately, and he's like, wait a minute. We should go back to the TARDIS. We need to better track this. And they go to the TARDIS, and now it's an organ. It's literally a player organ.
So and they don't have any doors they can put on these, so the door's always on the other side of it, and they just walk behind the piano or behind the pillar.
Okay, so in the meantime, the Cybermen had been following the time disturbance, and they realize it's the Doctor and the Doctor's TARDIS.
Which he left unlocked for some reason? The door open?
It's plot device. In the meantime, on the planet, was it Letos? Letos? L-E-T-O-S?
Telos?
Telos. T-E-L-O-S. Telos.
Planet of the Crayolas?
The Cybermen, the cyber controller there is discussing all the stuff back and forth with the main planet. He's like, okay, capture the Doctor's TARDIS, bring it back to us, and we will have 2 time ships with which we can try and stop, what happened. So the Doctor, Perry, and Russell go into the Doctor's TARDIS, and there's a Cyberman. And it's coming at Russell, and Russell just gaps it right in the head. Just the gun's right here, right through the mouth. It dies. Then another Cyberman shows up. Then another Cyberman shows up, And eventually you have about 6 Cybermen in there. Russell's overpowered, gets hit on the head and dies. And then they're just about to kill Perry. The guy literally comes up and goes, kill her now. And the episode ends.
End of episode 1.
Yeah.
Destroy her.
Alright, so what are your questions about episode 1?
So we talked about the 45-minute episodes every Monday, just like the podcast. We talked about Perky Gillian. Doctor still seems unstable. Litton is back from the resurrection of the Daleks. We talked about time traveling chronologically. The Scrapyard callback.
Yeah.
And 76 Totter's Lane.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about my chameleon circuit theory.
Now later on there's a chameleon arch, and I'll tell you what that does later.
Oh, and how Perry can handle a gun.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Okay, we covered all of it. Oh, how many deaths were there in this story, in this serial?
8 humans, 2 Cryons, 13 Cybermen, and a base
I think you're missing.
full of Cybermen.
I think you're missing some humans.
Some humans?
Well, you had the 2 at the beginning, then the next guy, Payne. Then you had the 2 prisoners. Then you had Litton and Russell. And no, you got it exactly 8. Okay.
Who's Zodin?
No, that's a name drop that never comes up again, to the best of my knowledge.
The Doctor refers to Zodin as what a woman or something.
Yeah, what a villain.
Oh,
if you know who Zodin is, and I don't know, maybe it's from the books or something, leave it in the comments below.
I can't read. So.
Okay, so lots of death. Pretty much everyone died. Episode 2, the Doctor is forced to take his TARDIS to Telos.
Yeah, they have this weird Cold War standoff where they're going to execute Perry, but then the Doctor sets the TARDIS to self-destruct.
Yes.
In a 20-second countdown, so they say, okay, we won't kill you guys.
And we won't harm Perry.
But you have to take us to this planet, and countdown gets to 1. They have this back and forth. How do I know I can trust you? I give you my word, the word of a Cyberman. But eventually he shuts off the self-destruct, canceled, aborted.
Yeah.
And they take Perry away anyway.
Oh, and in the meantime, we have found out that Litton is from a planet with a really cool warrior race.
Vita 15.
Yeah.
Never says what the race is.
Yeah, and his planet is like something like Ragoni Fit 5 or something, which are satellite.
Rifton 5.
Yeah. And it's like, well, how did you track us? Humans can't do this. I'm not human. And poor Griffith next to him like, wait, what? What? Griffith's about a foot shorter than Litton. And they ask him all these questions like, well, if you know about us, and you really know about us, you would know where the cyber controller is. Well, I assume he's still on Telos. Yep, okay.
And then now we're on the TARDIS with the Doctor and Perry and Litton. They have this...
And Griffith.
They have this uncomfortable conversation about, well, where do these Cybermen come from? Well, don't they have their own planet instead of taking over Telos? It's like, well,
yeah, and
somebody blew that one up.
Yeah, so, the first Doctor basically destroyed their planet way back in the day. And
1986.
Right, which is the next year after this 1985. In the timeline as it played out in the show, but not in the way that it was shown in the show.
And they refer to the web of time, the time web.
Yeah, the web of time. It comes
web
up
of
with
time.
Yeah, because the Doctor can't
alter, right? Change. So it's
okay. They say that it happens anyway, but There are times when the Doctor gets away with a little something,
Mm-hmm.
but there are times when him doing something like that has disastrous effects.
Yeah, like the butterfly effect, right?
Yes.
You change one thing and it leads to another and another.
Yeah. Well, there's an episode in series 1 where the Doctor is convinced to let Rose see like her father on the day he's married and stuff, because he died when she was young and all that. So they do that, and then she wants to do it again. So they're watching themselves, watching the father, and then she goes in and interferes, and it causes this problematic time loop.
Does it?
Yeah.
Sounds confusing.
Yeah, but yeah, there are times when the Doctor absolutely. It all depends on what the story needs. There are times I can go back and fix it, and there are times nope, can't do it at all.
I heard that there's this one really great episode where the Doctor keeps dying for this one companion over and over again.
No.
That doesn't happen?
No, it does.
Okay.
It would be a great episode if he saved somebody else. Most notably his wife.
He chose a companion over his wife? That's rough. Which
yes.
one? Rose?
No, the companion is Clara.
That's
the insufferable one.
Yeah.
Well, some people like her. I don't like her. And
I thought that was like a community thing that they did.
Oh yeah, well, most people common sense don't like her. But no, his wife had previously died, not that long before that, and he dies billions of times over billions of years and suffers all that time, and he saves Clara, and I'm like, no, no, we'll get there.
The Doctor has a wife.
There's actually an episode called The Doctor's Wife, and there's actually an episode...
he gets married. It wasn't Hartnell that was married.
Way back in the day, yeah.
It was the Doctor as Hartnell when he was married. His first generation.
Supposedly. We never see it.
Oh, okay.
But he has a granddaughter, so supposedly. But later on, the Doctor actually marries.
Oh, there's a second wife?
Yeah, much later.
Or maybe that is his first wife with his granddaughter, Susan, but how time works.
Time is wonky for those two, but no, this is a different wife.
Oh, okay.
Alright, and the...
Where do baby Time Lords come from? Like a test tube?
Okay, wait, we've gone over this.
Are they birthed?
Okay. According to the show, it's probably a natural birth. According to the books, their DNA is matricized in test tubes or something. It's weird. Now,
oh yeah, I think I heard about the...
Yeah, I think I told you about that. Now,
they didn't talk about that on the show? Like, altering time?
No, not really.
Eugenics stuff?
Hey, now according to the new stuff, two humans just have to have sex in the TARDIS to create a Time Lord, essentially.
Oh, in the TARDIS?
Yes, if two humans have sex in the TARDIS, someone creates a Time Lord.
It's kind of like, if you're in this country, then you create...
If you're in Nigeria, you're creating a Nigerian. If you're in Germany, you're creating a German. If you're in America, you're creating an American. But if two humans are in the TARDIS, somehow they're creating a Time Lord.
That baby gets his Time Lord passport.
It's
citizenship.
It's crazy. Okay.
That's fun.
Hey, in episode 2, alright, now just remember those two guys who end up dying are still weaving through all this and just eating up time. The group is... They're just there. They advance the plot almost not at all.
Yeah, they have a little bit of an interaction with Lytton later on.
They advance the plot from the Cyberman perspective by this much, and everything else is irrelevant, as it turns out.
Yep.
Okay,
just a sad little couple of characters.
Yep. All right, so the Doctor arrives on Telos, but he managed to change the coordinates just slightly, so he doesn't arrive in the cyber control room up above. He arrives in the super cold tombs down below, where the Cryons used to live, and the Cybermen needed the use of the tombs for regenerating and repowering and resting. But apparently a whole bunch of them went down there, and this harkens back to Tomb of the Cybermen when they're coming out. And then there's a direct call back to that because they refer to it as a tomb. When they went down there,
right, and they're in their cryo hibernating things.
Yeah,
they break out of again.
Yeah. It's very much a callback, and we see that later on as well.
Why are they all like moldy?
Hey, apparently there were problems on Cryon that didn't work well with them, and I don't know if it's
you don't get the water softener and you get all the corrosion in your dishwasher.
Essentially, I think that the green stuff was corrosion that messed with their minds and their powers. Right. And it was basically their batteries corroding through. And apparently they've been resuscitating people down there forever.
Some of them go rogue.
Yeah, some of them go crazy because the corrosion has messed with their brains. And they've gotten to the point where they're still getting good people, good Cybermen out of there. However, most of them are not. And they're losing so many normal Cybermen to the rogue Cybermen, they're just shutting it down.
And they're like, we want off this planet. Mondas back. Earth has to go. We're going to blow up Earth with...
No, they're blowing up Telos.
And Earth, the Halley's Comet.
Oh yeah, okay. Comes to find out that
because like the plot in the 86 episode was that Mondas was going to replace Earth in the orbit, right? It was going to take over the.
All right. Rather than being confusing, let's use the actual name of the episode because it was aired infinitely before the other one, but takes place after. The 10th planet.
The 10th planet.
Okay.
That's it. The twin, the Earth.
Yes.
Was it on the dark side of the moon? Is that why you didn't see it?
Other side of the sun.
Other side of the sun.
Yeah. So they were always in synchronous orbit until they took Mondas and sort of moved it faster in the orbit towards the Earth.
Yeah.
All right. So.
For some reason.
Well, apparently there's this big deal about people taking planets and moving them around with propulsion systems. Because remember, the Daleks did that in Dalek Invasion of Earth. They were trying to do that.
And the pirate planet?
Yeah, same thing. Okay, so the Doctor is trying to stop the Cybermen from stopping him, stopping them. So, So he can't go and stop them in the 10th planet 1986. He's already been there.
Right.
He has to stop them now, but they're trying to use his time machine to go stop him stopping them there by throwing Halley's Comet, which happens to be in the sky because it was 1985, throwing Halley's Comet into the Earth and rupturing it enough that it wasn't able to push back against the Cybermen when they showed up in 1986. Okay, so now we meet the Cryons. Okay?
Yeah.
Oh.
Which one's your favorite? Raspberry blue?
Yeah, probably. Alright. So the Doctor, these Cryons can only live in temperatures that are below zero. And at this point I'm assuming below 0 Celsius because they're past
me too.
They're past the 60 switch over to metrics.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so you've got while they're down there, Lighton, Griffin, Perry, and the Doctor, who are prisoners by the Cybermen, are standing on this platform while the one Cyberman is going, "We've got to get out of here. This is bad." And Litton's like, "Why are they afraid?" The Doctor's like, "Ooh, yeah, why are the Cybermen afraid?" And then one of the rogue Cybermen breaks out. Litton does the wise thing and he grabs Griffin and they haul off. Perry goes to the Doctor, but the Doctor takes her and throws her towards Litton and Griffin on the other side of the rogue Cyberman. And the Doctor's immediately grabbed by one of the Cybermen. And then a couple of Cybermen die while one takes care of the other. One had his head punched off, and the other was beaten to the ground.
That's a common theme with Cybermen in the serial losing their heads.
Oh yeah, those two guys who
The
were
whole story arc is trying to...
Yeah, those two guys running around were basically just knocking the heads off of Cybermen like you wouldn't believe.
And a really good bat.
Mm. So remember, their arms had been replaced, so they are very strong.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So you've been watching Studio Ghibli films, right?
Yeah, a few of them.
Did you see the Castle in the Sky?
I saw Howl's Moving Castle.
Gotta watch that. So, Castle in the Sky has Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, as one of the voice actors. He voices the villain. It's great.
I prefer it in the original language.
Mark Hamill doesn't speak Japanese.
I know, but but he does something in Howl's Moving Castle as well, and so does Dustin Hoffman and other people. But we watched it in the original language with the original voices, so we didn't get to hear Mark Hamill.
You watched the captions.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, the doctor is.
That's why I like the dub. I watched the movie, not the.
Oh, you can watch both.
Not my ass.
I'm so used to watching subtitles. Alright, so the doctor's taken and thrown in a room by the one Cyberman, and there's a Cryon in there, and what was her name? Did you get their names?
Thrust, Flast, Rost, Varn.
I think it's the first one.
Thrust.
Yeah, they're all one syllable.
Wait, Thrust was the one that rescues Perry.
Okay. All their names are one syllable words with a single vowel, and
Flast is the one that the doctor runs into.
So anyway, she's been a prisoner there forever and ever, and I think they use her for information about the Cryons. The doctor's like, well, I need to get out of here. She's like, oh, they all say that until they freeze to death. She didn't say in those words, but pretty much. And eventually she, the doctor's like, well, I'm trying to stop the Cybermen. And then she's like, well, the Time Lords won't let them do what they're planning on doing, so they'll send somebody. And the doctor's like, no, I'm the guy you're sending. Why did you trick me here?
None the wiser.
Yeah.
He had been sent to stop the Cybermen's interference with the
established history of time. Yeah. So,
unbeknownst to him, makes you think how many of their past adventures have been,
a lot of them are directly sending them there.
That's when they felt, it'd be prevalent to brief him on what they're sending him off to do. True. But sometimes it feels like, who knows when they might be just moving his TARDIS around, like a chess piece.
But it's like a Genesis of the Daleks. They show up, take him out of the time stream, talk to him, and go, okay, now go do this. Or the Deadly Assassin, when it's the come home distress beacon thing. Yeah.
Usually we know, or we're told that he's there because of the Time Lord sent him there. This is the first time where, the doctor didn't know.
Yeah,
he's the Time Lord sent him there.
They apparently manipulated things, possibly in conjunction with Lytton, to get the doctor there. And there's the occasional times where they show up with the umbrella. They come down on the little tractor beam to tell him, "Hey, the master's back in town." Remember that?
Oh yeah.
The third Doctor,
or when his friend came in on the umbrella just to tell him.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
yeah.
that is.
Yeah, it's like it's got to be a little tractor beam thing, but yeah, or like
Mary Poppins style.
Yeah, the Black Guardian. Hey, or do you think he's a White Guardian? You got to go do this for me. But anyway, so it turns out that at the moment we think Letton's this horrible bad guy because he's working with the Cybermen, trying to help them. He escapes. Now, eventually, Perry is about to be attacked by one of those rogue Cybermen. She gets rescued by two of the Cryons, And
Rust and Ross, they have Cybermen guns.
Yeah, and they kill the Cybermen. They take her to their way underground refrigerated place.
Yeah. The tombs.
Right. And see, here's the weird thing. You have at this point, you've got the doctor and the one Cryon talking and trying to escape. You have Perry with those two Cryons. Mm-hmm. You have Lytton and Griffin. You have the Cybermen, and then you have those other two dudes outside, and all these things are happening. They all come together, but it's
a lot of independent pieces going on before the
big
pictures really.
And it's hard to keep track of all of it sometimes, but especially for some of the characters. Mm-hmm. I think Perry was out of her depth for a good bit, and Griffith was out of his depth for, I think, all of it.
Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah.
So he keeps having to translate his slang.
So the Cybermen are talking at various points to Griffith, and Griffith uses British slang, and Lytton has to keep translating it to them. It's like, oh, old Bill's coming around, eh? What does he mean? Oh, they may be the police.
It's fun. What was the other one? He's like, oh, you're having a laugh.
Oh, yeah.
He thinks you're insulting
No, you're winding me up.
Yeah.
Oh, you think you're trying to aggravate him. Oh, no. All right. Okay, let's talk about the Cryons. All right. The Cybermen are very, very, very masculine. Okay. They're big, they're tall, they're super strong, and they crush people, literally with their hands. The Cryons are incredibly, incredibly effeminate. They are
mustaches.
Well, it's some weird little odd fishy appendage. But they're incredibly feminine. They have feminine forms.
Cellophane mustaches.
Yeah. They've got the super long fingernails, and they keep touching people on the shoulder and hands and stuff.
Talk with their hands, yeah.
Yeah, but not in an Italian way. It's more of a just a kind of weird, creepy way.
You ever see was it Scary Movie? Where the aliens show up?
Yeah.
And they're touching him, and he's like, well, this is how we say hello on our planet. He sticks his finger in his mouth.
Alright,
it reminded me of that scene. They walk up there like, we should have killed her. While they're like, softly caressing.
And so these Cryons are incredibly creepy. And you assume they're good guys because they're feminine, and then because they were also wiped out by the Cybermen.
Yeah, they're
enemy of the Cybermen. Yeah, they're victims. But there's that one moment when you should have killed her rather than her figure this out. You're like, wait, are these good guys?
Pretty rough.
Yeah.
It kind of shows the dark side of well-meaning characters, or even the.
Even good guys can have bad days.
Yeah, there's like...
And even bad guys like Lytton can have good days.
So why is it that Lytton is wanting to help the Cryons?
I think he wanted vindication.
Like, this was his redemption arc after escaping the Daleks. He needed to go redeem himself.
This was his redemption arc.
Have you been watching Invincible Season 2? You watched that show, Invincible, on Amazon Prime?
No.
Superhero. Oh, okay.
No.
Animated show.
I haven't seen it. No. Alright,
very popular.
Cool.
Okay.
Alright, so the doctor...
add it to the list.
There you go. So the doctor manages to get his Cryon to help him escape, which they do. And the Cryon...
with the use of tannerite.
Yes, and the tannerite at super low temperatures is completely benign.
Yeah,
but once you get it 10 degrees above zero...
cocaine.
Yeah, it can explode.
It becomes unstable at 15 degrees above zero. Self-ignites.
That's right. Oh, and...
burns like tannerite does.
And... Lytton had given the doctor back the lance he had used to kill the one Cyberman. Lytton pulled it out and gave it back, and that's what the Doctor was using on the TARDIS to deflect it slightly.
Mm-hmm. And also how he's gonna break out of... So, why is he talking about how he's going to freeze... Oh, because the armed guard's outside. Okay, never mind.
Right. So, the Doctor uses a little bit of that stuff to blow up the guard and kill it.
Lances the door open.
Yeah. And
Like the sonic lance opens the door. Kind of like a sonic screwdriver would.
No, the sonic lance has to hit the exact point. The screwdriver just it's good. So it's more like a sonic ice pick.
It's more like a flathead than a Phillips.
Nah, it's an ice pick. Alright, which the Doctor does right in that one guy. You know, someone Cybermen.
Surprisingly effective.
Yeah. Okay, so the Doctor manages to escape. Perry is trying to get back to the TARDIS. She wants to help the Doctor, and the Crowns are very much, you cannot let the Cybermen have this TARDIS. And they're like, and she's like, well, I don't know how to fly it. We'll help you. I don't know how to fly it. We'll help you.
I don't think the Doctor knows how to fly
it. So, in the meantime, Lighton, you find out, is working with the Crowns and is a good guy, and but he has a great redemption arc. Okay.
He never gives a reason why he's helping him, other than he gave his word, apparently.
He gave his word, and I think he was looking for redemption, and he's from a planet of really good warriors. But the warriors do things for money. And to be fair, they had all the diamonds on that planet. He might have been doing it in the end for the money.
He just handed those away. Well, there's
tons of them. They're common.
Diamonds on the planet.
Yeah. So the guys he promised millions of pounds worth of diamonds, he was actually going to give millions of pounds worth of diamonds to, and he does give it to Griffith.
Just a handful. Oh, pounds is in the currency, not the weight.
The currency, yeah.
Boy, that's a lot of diamonds.
British pounds.
So I think Lytton, listening in to the radio chatter of the Cybermen, right? He knows all about their cyber command being on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
That's also what made him have a soft spot for the Crayons, whose planet had been taken over.
Right.
I think that's... I think over months of him, coming to terms with how he was kind of indentured servitude into the Daleks' forces, right?
Yeah.
He's a bad guy, and he's spending months listening to how these Cybermen are just wiping out the Crayons.
Correct.
He's like, I gotta help these people. So I think my interpretation of it is he's being redemption. Yeah. Or it could just be the diamond.
Might be a bit of both.
Yeah.
All right. So, in the meantime, Lytton is heading off to find the two guys who escaped. Mm-hmm. So he goes off with Griffith to do that. Griffith has his 2 million pounds worth of diamonds. They bump into those guys. Then they're like, oh, we need at least 3 people to fly the plane. So this time ship. So let's go off and do that. So they join forces. They're heading to the time ship, which is now landed. And Lytton gets captured.
Looks like a cement mixer.
Yeah. Yeah. And
that might have been on like a high wire.
Yep.
That is what they used, maybe.
Yeah. Lytton gets captured, and they tell him to betray the Crowns and give him all the information.
And he wouldn't.
The Cyber Controller on the attack and everything.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do it. And one Cyberman each grabs one of his hands and crushes them. And they show back and his hands are just bleeding. And he still doesn't do it. And he screams and falls. Good, strong warrior race. He held up and he did not betray them. And he took the pain. And they say, okay, well, you're going to give us everything when you become one of us. And they start the conversion process.
The conditioning. But very strong-willed, you know, overcome to resist the torture.
Yeah.
So that's why I think ultimately
he was redeemed. Yeah.
It had to be something more than the diamonds.
Correct. I agree with you. But all right, I think the diamonds was just for the other guys. All right. So in the meantime, now the doctor's escaped. He's running about. He runs into Perry and the Cryons, and
the whole gang's back together.
Well, that side of the gang. So then, but there's a Cyberman guarding the TARDIS. So the Doctor goes into one of the rogue Cybermen, activates a distress signal. So there's 2 Cybermen that come out of the TARDIS. And
they do a little bit of Scooby-Doo, right?
Yeah, they do a little running on Scooby-Doo. And a couple of the Cryons shoot the Cybermen, and one of the Cryons dies in the crossfire. The Cryons are like, look.
She has this weird, steam effect or something.
Yeah, because of the heat. Because they have to live in the cold temperatures, and that energy kind of steams their body. Yeah. Well, that's what the one said, boiled.
Yeah.
So the Doctor is like, we don't want them to get we'll destroy the TARDIS if we have to. I was like, what? And said, well, we don't want it to fall in Cybermen hands. And I was like, I can agree with that. So the Doctor and Perry head to the TARDIS, but Perry's telling the Doctor about Lytton being good and working with the Cryons to help them.
Yeah, we can't just leave.
They were captured by the Cybermen. So the Doctor's like, okay, I will see what I can do. In the meantime, there's a trap and an ambush, and the 3 guys, the 2 outside and Griffith, all die. Slaughtered.
All dead.
Then
the TARDIS material. It's the police box again.
Yeah, the TARDIS returns the police box. The Doctor's like, he goes to help Lytton, who he sees on the conversion deal.
And I have a prediction. The chameleon circuit gets stuck again. It stays the police box.
Yes, it's the only time realistically that it's not.
Just this one serial?
Yeah. Right. I think they wanted to show why it's not good to have it on. Or why it can be very not good. So the Doctor goes to help Lytton. And the Doctor's like, why did you tell me? Why did you tell me? And Lytton's like, I gave my word. I held it up. And he's like, the drug's already affecting my mind. You've got to kill me. You've got to kill me.
Kill me. It's the second person asking the Doctor.
Oh, wow. Just a little bit of time, too.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Yeah, it hadn't been that long since Chameleon. Yeah.
The resurrection of the the Master? Which one? This is pretty recent.
Yeah, it's the one where Chameleon dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
No. What, did it have the Master and the Daleks in it? Oh, no. It was the volcano fumes that heal people. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah. All right. So that's where we were all there. That's where we lost Turlo.
Caves of Andronazi.
No, that wasn't the Caves of Andronazi. Oh. That was the Fire Planet or whatever.
What was the Caves?
The Planet of Fire. Planet of Fire.
Oh, yeah.
Daleks was the one before that. That one was Planet of Fire.
Caves of Andronazi.
Which had the Master and Chameleon and Turlo leave. Because that's Turlo's home race. Okay, so the Doctor grabs the TARDIS. He goes up. He's helping Lytton. Lytton's like, I'm dying. You got to kill me. And right then, a Cyberman comes in. Mm-hmm. And the Doctor had gotten a sharp implement to cut the cords that were binding Lytton. And he'd gotten most of them. And he puts that in Lytton's hand. And so the Cyberman comes up. And Lytton has enough strength of will to stab him in the shoulder, in the chest as he comes up.
More green ooze
coming right. The Cyberman drops his gun. The Doctor runs around, grabs the gun. He's about to shoot that Cyberman when at the same time more Cybermen come in the door. The Doctor pivots, shoots the one in front. The one in front turns and pivots as the one behind him is shooting, blocks the shot for the Doctor, and then they both collapse.
Yeah, how did the one that shot the other Cyberman also die? It's like the one. So that
because the Cyberman that
around.
got shot was flailing his gun around and shooting.
Oh, the doctor shot the one in the back, and the one in the back shot. Okay,
The doctor shot the one in the front.
right.
Who then turned around and just started firing as you sometimes do when you're dying. Who shot this guy as he shot him again.
You know, as you do.
Yeah, it all happens fast. And you were like, wait, what just happened? In the meantime, the other one's still flailing around, the one that got stabbed. The doctor kills him.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cyber controller comes in, and the big head, the doctor dispatches him. I thought his bottom kind of looked like Winnie the Pooh.
He had
a weird big hip thing going.
It's not a flattering outfit. The nylon bag they stick, and this one was a little bit more heavy set. You can see those love handles.
Yeah, but okay, fine, cool.
Jumper, loafer,
Yeah,
whatever he was wearing.
yeah. So the doctor tries to Litton, but Litton's dead already.
He's a goner.
In the meantime, there's this bomb that the one crown set off that's going to blow up the whole place.
Vaseline. Vaseline.
The doctor and Perry run in the TARDIS and leave.
Uh-huh.
And right after that, the whole base explodes. So
great timing.
So we don't know if anybody on this planet survived. Because we don't know if the base blowing up kills the Cryons down there.
The tomb, yeah. They said that they're going to make a run for it. And he's like, good luck. And they're like, oh, we'll try.
The whole planet's completely wasted. So I don't know if any of the prisoners survived in that waste afterwards. In fact, it's stated several times that you're dead if you're out there.
So did these Cybermen come back in the future?
Yes.
So
they come back in the Silver Nemesis, which is unofficially the 25th anniversary special.
Uh-huh.
So it's a silver anniversary.
So do you think those Cybermen came from the same tomb on Telos? Or do you think...
Yeah, Silver Nemesis. I don't know, but we see him again in the old stuff, and then we see the alternate ones in the new stuff. Right.
Yeah,
the ones in the alternate universe. That looks so much cooler. Much cooler. Well, they have CGI to work with now.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So, questions you have for episode 2?
So, episode 2 is pretty straightforward, and we covered most of it. We talked about the Doctor blowing up Mondas, the big callback to the 1986 episode.
10th Planet, which was set in 86, but broadcast in 66, I believe.
We discussed the Web of Time, Style, cocaine,
the
tannerite. That's
tannerite, the exploding powder.
And then mostly it was just discussing Litton's motivation, whether or not he's a good guy, bad guy, if he had redeemed himself. But that's about it. Pretty straightforward.
He was a bad guy in the last serial, and you think he's a bad guy through most of this one.
Yeah,
3/4 of it.
Great poker face.
In the end, I love his banter. But in the end, he redeems himself. He really does. He gets tortured to not give up the Cryons. And all this stuff he did was to help them against the Cybermen.
So does this count as a reoccurring villain? If he comes... So, kind of like the Ice Warriors. They were villains, and then they came back as not villains. And then they came back as villains again. At what point did they qualify as a recurring villain? Their second appearance or the third one?
Okay.
When they're villains
I would say for 2 reasons. One, he's a recurring character. Yes. Okay. 2, you think he's villain for most of it.
You do.
But 3, we call it heroes and villains.
Heroes and villains.
So I say we give him an episode.
Anti-hero.
Hero. Yeah. Yeah. I say we put him on the list. And
let's put him on the list. Yeah. Alrighty. But
okay. Next time we have Vengeance on Varos. It's continuing the brutal stuff where lots of people die. Dark. This one is especially Orwellian and dark.
The
Vengeance on Varos. Like I said, they tried to make it darker for this Doctor.
They did.
They did make it darker. It did not endear people to the character of the Sixth Doctor. But then we have Marco the Rani, which we get a new bad guy.
Macaroni.
And then the
A
two
new
doctors.
bad guy? Like a new recurring bad guy?
Yes.
The Ronnie.
The Ronnie.
Ah.
And we see her twice more after that.
Huh.
And then we get the two doctors.
But we never see Zodin.
No.
Not yet. Do you think we will? We could.
Sometimes they go up so far up their own backsides that they'll pull out any mention of anything anywhere and
like, what have we
be self-referential.
Sold merchandise on yet?
All right. Last Saturday they aired the first of the 3 specials.
I heard. Did you see it?
No, I saw reviews on it. I have no method to see it. So I don't have Disney Plus.
Because it's not out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on Disney Plus. That's right.
Yeah, all the new stuff is on Disney Plus.
So that's just like a same time release all around the globe now? There's no restriction?
Close. I really do not like what I saw of the episode at all.
I heard some things.
Yes, I spent all Tuesday and most of Wednesday and into Thursday just angry as everything.
So, was this the one that was produced by Mad Wolf Productions?
Bad
or was
Wolf.
this Bad Wolf?
Well, Russell T Davies. But now, there's... They
brought back... Okay, good.
Yeah, they really denigrate the Doctor. But... Here's a theory I'm grasping onto for right now. With the 360th anniversary specials, the main villain is a celestial toy maker. He can manipulate reality and minds. So all this bad stuff that's dumped on the Doctor, I'm hoping is him screwing with the Doctor's mind and presenting a false reality as a trap for the Doctor.
Interesting.
We'll
find out.
I will watch all the specials when they come out next year. I'm hoping and praying because I could stop watching if it's not the case. I was that angry. I was that absolutely angry.
So, pretty low review scores. New special.
We'll see what happens when I actually get to watch them in context. I'm going to purchase them, watch them in context, watch all 3 of the specials, and just see. And I'm hoping that they are not just trashing him the way they do every white male hero these days.
But this could be it for you in Doctor Who.
Well, at least until you and I get there. So I could stop watching until we're watching them together for the first time. And then I would experience them with you for the first time.
Through solidarity.
I may be skipping, generally speaking, the Disney years if it's going to be that bad. But anyway, hopefully I've seen something that is setting up something better and is part of a broader arc that is not that degrading to the Doctor. And hopefully, the fact that I have not seen the whole thing, there may be some better context for it. I don't know. I will have to see. But that's why I'm giving it a chance rather than just listening to listening to out of context reviews and stuff. I will watch it and I'll give it a chance. But we'll talk about that later.
Now, what I heard about the new special that came out was I just heard about it on one platform and it was pretty negative reviews. But what is the fan base on it? Is it split? Do some people like it? Do some people hate it? Or is it
okay.
Overall?
Here's the problem. You've got people like me who are going to hate it outright. At least what I've seen. But I'm waiting to see it full, in context, and with the whole arc. You're going to have other people who don't care. You're going to have other people who love it. The problem is a lot of people who would be super offended by it have already left the show. You know, when you get so far off the beaten path, you lose a lot of fans.
I feel like that's just what Disney's doing to all these IPs that they're buying.
Yes,
and
Disney's
Star
doing
Wars,
that to
you see the fan
so
base just kind
much.
of collapse.
The
Marvel fan base kind of collapse.
They go in, they make something super woke, which is what this looks like, but I'm hoping it's not it. They make it super woke.
We hope it's super sleep.
And they just absolutely destroy it. That's what they did with Indiana Jones. That's what they did with Marvel. That's what they did with Star Wars. And they're just killing they're killing my childhood. They're killing every single hero I had in my childhood.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's not the case. This is the last one I have. I held on to Doctor Who despite Whittaker and some of that crap because it was the last one I had at the time, you know? It's going to have to be really bad for me to walk away, but...
So stay tuned.
Yeah. Anyway, it's Friday now. We had a special Friday episode because his car broke down and couldn't be here Monday.
60th subscriber special.
Yep. For the 60th anniversary special.
Right.
But hopefully we can come back to you next Monday and have another pretty quick boom boom like we did the last time.
Boom boom. So we'll see you maybe Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. Did they go up? They get uploaded on Tuesday or Monday night?
They usually get uploaded sometime late Monday night or early Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
All right. So we'll see you again for next Monday, right?
Yes.
Okay. Next Monday. Bye.
What is next Monday?